talk music. We're going to have an intro to blues today. Blues is an old form that's been around for a long time, and it's a great, great music. Lots of feeling, lots of tension, lots of energy, and it's just really good. So we'll go over the 12-bar blues, basically, and some chords. The chords are the 1, 4, 5 dominant chords, or the 7th chords. And you'll be able to play the blues after this. So stick around. Let's talk music. Let's talk about the blues. The blues is great music. I first got into the blues when I was a young lad playing guitar. I got it through the second generation, we called it back then. People like Eric Clapton, Jeff Beck, Leslie West, Alvin Lee, Jimi Hendrix. And through them, got into Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters, Hubert Sumlin, of course, the guitar player, Little Walter, Freddie King. So, and I'm still getting into it. Great, great music. Goes back a long time. It's an old music, and it's influenced a lot of stuff that you listen to these days. Jazz came out of blues. Rock and roll came out of blues by combining with country. Of course, these are just really basic concepts. A lot more to it than that. But a lot of the music you hear to these days is blues-based pop, blues-based rock, and so on. So what is blues? Blues is basically a 12-bar form, even though there's 8-bar blues, there's 16-bar blues. All right, let's talk the blues. Blues, basically it's 12-bar blues. I mean, of course there's other blues, 8-bar blues, 16-bar blues. There's even 10-bar blues. A lot of the older blues, they added a bar here, measure there, beat here, beat there. So, but basically, let's talk about 12-bar because that's a standard. So we'll talk about that. But let's also talk about the chords. So basically, in blues, there's 3 chords in blues, the foundation of blues, and they're all 7th chords. And 7th chords are 4-note chords. So let's say in the key of E. Here's the E7. There's E, the root, G sharp the 3rd, 5th is B, and the 7th, the flat 7, is D. They call it the flat 7 because in the key of E, D sharp is the 7th, and you flat that and it becomes the flat 7th. So that's E7. So you have 3 chords, all 7th, dominant 7th chords, A7th, B7th. And they're basically not in any real key in a certain way, but I don't want to go into that right now. 3 chords are all dominant 7th chords. It sounds like this. The key of E, E7th, A7th, and B7th. 12 bar, you have the first 4 measures, 4 bars, and here it is. Just take a look at this chart. You have here's a rhythm for A blues. There's different kinds of blues. So here's just simple blues. 4 beats, 4 bars. It switches to 4-chord A7. Back to the root. And B7th, A7th, and E7th. And then the turnaround. Back to the beginning. That's how a standard blues goes, and of course there are variations. Here's a song with a variation, and the variation would be, instead of the first 4 bars, first 4 measures as a 1/7, which is in this case the E7th, it goes to the A7th on the 2nd bar, and it sounds like this. Back to the 1 chord. So the first 4 bars sounds like this. Back to the 1 chord, 2 bars, 4-chord A7th, 2 bars, and 1 chord, 2 bars, 5-chord B7th, A7th, E7th, back to the 1. That's a standard 12-bar blues. Of course, it could be any rhythm, other rhythms I should say, other rhythms and variations of chords. Here's what it sounds like in the key of G. So I'm going to do a bar chord, G7th, G7th, C7th, and D7 for the chords, 1 through 4, 5. So here's another B rhythm. 1 chord. 4 chord. Back to the 1 chord. And here's the last 4 bars. Starting now. 5 chord, D 7th, 1 bar, C 7th, 1 bar, back to G. One last bar. So that's 12 bar blues. That's what you get for 12 bar blues. As I said, everything is a 7th chord. If you didn't do the 7th chords, it would be sort of like, you could say it's kind of a country blues, but they always add 7th there somewhere. You know, blues, it wouldn't be the same without the 7th. I mean, here. It's just not the same. It doesn't have the tensions. The 7th makes it tense, so you have that flat 7. Blues also, the melody has a flat 3 in it, sort of. Flat 3, 3, which sounds like da da na 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 na. So you hear the flat 3, da 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 da, that's the flat 3. So it could be in between. Da 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 da. Here's a blues in A7. A to D. Back to the 1 chord. 5 chord E. D. A. That one is a little different because you're sort of only playing 1 or 2 notes, A and E in this case. And you're doing this, that kind of thing. So there's no 7th sounding, unless of course the backup is playing 7th. That could be. All kinds of things. You can also add 9ths to it, which jazzes it up a little bit. Here's the E 9th. It's called the E 9th because it has a 9th in it, along with a 7th. So this case is a 5-note chord. E, G sharp, B, D, and F sharp. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. 1, 3, flat 7 is the note. So it'll be A7, B, A. So what I suggest is to make sure you learn the chords in all the keys. E7 is a great guitar key, great blues key actually. C7th, F7th, G7th, G7th, C7th, D7th, and you can do D7th, G7th, A7th. Those are really good blues keys on guitar. A7th, D7th, E7th. So learn all those, all different kinds of chords, 7th chords, and then you have the blues. Make sure you learn the form, 12 bars, the basic blues, and it's 4/4 by the way. On the chart it has these marks, 4 beats per measure. 4/4. Blues is basically 4/4 with variations. It's always variations. So 4 beats per measure, and just learn the form, 12 bar form, and you can play the blues. So that's it. Go practice.